Great literature is dynamic. It is dynamic because it continues to grow and evolve. New layers and new meanings and new interpretations and new understanding can always be added to literature which assumes a life of its own. So, among children's literature, nursery rhymes is one of the most popular forms. What exactly are these nursery rhymes? The origin of the nursery rhymes is lost in time and the authorship is unknown. Nursery rhymes are kind of popular refrain which has been passed down generations, and they have been very popular because of the popular and easy to remember sing-song rhythm and meter and the air of nonsensical banality. There have been ditties in all the cultures of the world, and like fairy tales, like folk tales, like myths, they are a part of a tradition which has been inherited by generations among all people and all civilizations and all cultures. Some critics say that whatever else nursery rhymes might be, they represent one thing very powerfully, and that is the sheer power or dynamism or the staying ability of popular memory and oral tradition. The English nursery rhymes originated in the 12th centuries and they were added on down the centuries, and they have always been a part of a popular culture which is that of parody and mimicry. They were taken seriously first in the 18th century, and the 18th century, as we know, is the golden age of satire, lampooning, buffoonery, and of course limericks and parody and a kind of popular pastime of creating these spoofs which became a cultural phenomena of the 18th century, which is the age of satire and the age of rationality and the age of reason. There are many forms of these nursery rhymes, and there are many different versions like the doggerels and of course the limericks and lampoon. In the better hands, they are elevated to proper satire with more sophistication, but the nursery rhymes are very simple and they are often crude. They have vulgar allusions and they are not very polished. Almost all of these nursery rhymes have historical references, particularly the familiar ones which belong to the English-speaking world. As we all know, Baba Black Sheep, Humpty Dumpty, and Mary Mary Quite Contrary, Ring a Ring a Roses, and so on. They have social, cultural, political allusions to the situations of their particular time. In a mostly illiterate society, they were the way racial memory was kept alive in these popular refrains which came down from one generation to another. Though they are read as children's rhymes, these popular ditties, these musical ditties, these irreverent, and unmetrical and ungrammatical rhymes, they are seemingly full of nonsensical words and higgledy-piggledy. They all have interesting backstories, and often these stories are bizarre, and there are lots of ominous footnotes, as we all know. But for an example, the stories behind these popular nursery rhymes like Humpty Dumpty and Ring a Ring a Roses. Almost entire world of children's literature is full of allusions and contexts which we analyzed carefully almost seem unnerving, and these meanings have become clear after a lot of historical study and research. Nursery rhymes are very popular because they are easy to remember, easy to understand. They have a kind of a sing-song or sing-along quality to them. And this innocence, which apparent innocence, is misleading because almost all of them hide a double meaning, which has become apparent. And in the 19th century, because these nursery rhymes have been passed down the centuries, the prim and proper Victorian sensibilities were often outraged by the very, very blatant reference to often, immorality, sex, profanity, and the seemingly innocent nursery rhymes made references to epidemics like plague or beheadings or religious persecution and even prostitution. So nursery rhymes, though they lend themselves admirably to the popular culture, and they are a part of musical ditties, they are a part of popular refrains, they are a part of oral rhymes which have origins lost in time and authorship unknown. They are a part of children's literature, which now we have come to recognize when they have been compiled and they have been put together in the written form, are full of a deeper and a darker meaning. And as I said, great literature is dynamic, and it always lends itself to new meanings, new interpretations, new allusions, new references. And it is very interesting to see how the various forms of children literature, like the fairy tales, the nursery rhymes, the folk tales, and the stories which have come down to us in the form of animal fables, all hide a world of meaning which has a depth and which has an ambiguity and which is not in simple black and white as a child sees the world. They are very simplified, of course, but there is an ambiguity which may be not apparent to the child, but which makes itself very obvious as they are analyzed with more and a closer attention. Thank you.